the first year's chemistry. So first of all, I wish you best of luck for your board exam that is coming soon. Do you know about the deadline, the date and the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So second, first of all, we will start with the basics, okay? So since you guys are coming from metric, I suppose, because some students are coming from O levels or IG as well. So I will tell you the paper pattern for federal board. What are the changes if you compare it from, first year exams with metric, right? So let's discuss the paper pattern. In the metric, you were studying 8 subjects and your books were very thin as well. But in the FSC, you have only 6 subjects to read. And if you haven't seen the book, I must tell you, it's a thick one, right? It have around 360 pages, almost as many pages as there are days. And okay, so in these 100 marks, your theory compromises of 85 marks, and the practical carries just 15 marks. And for theory, it is divided into 3 portions. One is called question number 1, that is, MCQs. The other one is short question, section B, section A, B, and C, right? And the third one is long question. The only difference is the number. So in FSC, in metric, you used to have 12 MCQs in sciences, but here you have like 17 MCQs. And for short question, you have to attempt 14 out of 20. And for long question, you have to attempt 2 out of 3. So each short question carries 3 marks. So after attempting 14, how much marks you can score? 42. And each long question carries 13 marks. So 2 long questions carries 26 marks. Each MCQs carry 1 mark. So total you have 17 marks. So in total you have like 85 marks in theory. All right, so this was about the paper pattern. I hope you already know the most of the stuff. The only thing new is the distribution of marks. Now there are more MCQs, more short questions, and long question carries more marks, means you have to fill more pages to answer that. All right, so after paper pattern, one more important thing that I would like to discuss here is the time period that you have. So most students think that they have 1 whole year to cover this, but it is not the case. If you even start your preparation from today, that is August, right? So your exams might be in May next year, or it could be even earlier, because every year they are reducing 15 days to, cover up the corona occasions thing, right? So given that, if we suppose that your exams will be reconducted next year in May, you have a total of 9 months, right? You have a total of 9 months to cover this whole syllabus. And for a good preparation, I will suggest you to split down these 9 months into 2 halves, okay? The first half will be of 5 months, where you will cover the whole book. We normally call it, normal session, where we will teach you about the topics, okay, in detail. Each and every topic will be discussed one by one. So, and we will cover the whole book in 5 months. Then the remaining 4 months, we will cover the whole book again, but this time we call it R&T session, means there will be like discussion, we will discuss topics in terms of questions and answers. Like, we will not explain topics, we will explain like what questions could come from this topic and what would be the possible best answers for those. So this is called R&T session. You will practice a lot of questions from each topic, and this way you will revise the whole book twice in 1 year. And I must tell you that about the contents of the book, okay, about your syllabus. So now you have even more syllabus to study, to worry about. You have a total of 12 chapters instead of 8 chapters. And these chapters and the topics of chemistry are not even more lengthier, but also relatively more difficult than your metric. So that's why you need to give a lot of time, and you need to start your preparation right from today. You have to give daily time, at least 1 hour daily to chemistry only, in order to score full marks. That's what I needed from you. Okay. It is very common these days to score full marks in sciences, right? Our previous student who appeared in second year this time, she got like 505 marks out of 505. Can you imagine? She is the only student. Her name is Mashal Zahid. If you follow our pages, you might know about her already. So she got full 100% marks for the first time in the history of Federal Board. So if she can do this by studying from the same teachers that are teaching you, you can also do the same, right? And this student is studying from us from 9th grade, and she's topping throughout from 9th grade. Anyway, so I'm telling you her routine, that she started early preparation. She used to give time to every subject on daily basis. You have to be punctual in your lectures. You have to solve the home assignments given to you, follow the instructions, right? Carefully, be attentive and all. So also we will share exam related tips, like what should be your paper presentation, how you should attempt questions. And there are many different points you need to learn. Okay, just give me a second. All right, so I guess this is enough for introduction. You got an idea what you have to face during FSC, right? It's very tough. If you ask me about the toughness of FSC as compared to 9th, 10th, I would say like it's more like if you are doing the syllabus of both 9th and 10th in 1 year, or even less than 1 year, just 9 months. Okay. So I would only suggest to start early so that you do not get tensed at the end. All right, so let's talk about chemistry now. So there are like total of 12 chapters. All 12 chapters are related to physical chemistry. And do you know the definition of physical chemistry from your 9th grade? It is the study of laws and theories. So we will talk about all the laws and theories, means the discoveries of the scientists that have like proved that have been proposed already, right? So like in gases, we will be talking about Boyle's law and Charles' law. In other chapter, like all those scientists that have already discovered all those laws and theories that have already been proposed. You need why do you need to learn these laws and theories? Because in order to understand chemistry is based on these laws and theories. You need to first learn these laws and theories, and the most difficult part of that you will face in the first year, that will be the numericals, the most important thing in first year chemistry. You will have to solve a lot of numericals. Okay, so you should be good at calculations in order to get good grades in first year chemistry. If you are not already, you have to get better on this. And the only thing to ace numericals is by doing a lot of practice, right? So you will find numericals in almost every chapter, except 1 or 2 chapters where there is no numericals. So okay, so the first chapter, let me give you a little intro of the first chapter. The first chapter is called Stoichiometry. Okay, so stoichiometry, what is stoichiometry? You use stoichiometry on daily basis. Whenever you have to buy something, when let's say you want to make cupcakes at home, right? So you need to know the recipe of the cupcake, like what are the ingredients used in this and how many ingredients are used in this and in what quantity, right? So if you know the recipe, you would be able to calculate how much of what ingredient is required to make a certain amount of cupcakes, right? So this kind of calculations, like how much reactants are required for making how much product, this kind of relation is called stoichiometry. Okay. So let me define it here. First, let's find the origin or the meaning of the word stoichiometry. What do you mean by the word stoichiometry, right? So you should say like stoichiometry comes from two words. One is called stoichion, that means element. And the other one is called metry. So metry is commonly used like thermometer, barometer, speedometer. Its meaning is measurement. Please keep your mics mute unless you have to ask a question. Mars, do you have to say anything? Okay. So metry means measurement. So basically, why it is named so? So basically, if you have to make any dish, right? In order to make that dish, you need to know what are the ingredients present in it. Not only that, you also need to know what are the relative amounts of those ingredients present in that recipe. So in chemistry, if you have to make a compound, you need to know what elements are present in that compound and in what ratio in order to make that compound. So the discussion related to the amount of or the type of elements present in a compound is called stoichiometry. So in stoichiometry, we discuss like how much reactants are needed to make how much of the product. Okay. So let me define it here to make you understand this concept. So how do you define stoichiometry? You define it by saying it's the quantitative relation between, it is the quantitative relation between reactants R and products P in a balanced equation. So if you have a balanced equation in chemistry is like a recipe. Balanced equation tells you like how much of the reactants will give you how much of the product. But we are using that equation, you can answer any question. Like if you have 10 moles of reactants, you can calculate how many moles of product you will get. Or if you have to make 10 moles of product, you can calculate how many moles of reactants you would need, but all with the help of balanced chemical equation, right? Let me give you an example to make you understand that. So an example of this would be like, let's say you have to make water. So you need to write word equation. What is word equation? In word equation, you don't actually write the symbols. You just write what you are mixing. So the recipe for water is you have to mix hydrogen with oxygen to make water, right? This is called word equation. If I write symbol equation, where I have to write the formulas of each thing, you should write hydrogen is represented by H2, oxygen is O2, and water is H2O. But this is not balanced equation. So our requirement is equation must be balanced, right? So we need to balance the equation now. So for balancing equation, you need to write some numbers in the coefficients. So hydrogens are already balanced. If you want to balance the oxygens, that there are two oxygens on the left and one oxygen is on the right. So you have to like write 2 here to balance oxygen first, but then you have to balance hydrogen. So you have to write 2 here to balance the hydrogens. I guess you already know that the number of atoms on the left-hand side should be equal to number of atoms on the right-hand side. So this is the balanced equation. Now, what is the relationship? What is called stoichiometry here? So if you relate the amounts of reactants with products by saying that 2 moles of hydrogen react with 1 mole of oxygen to produce 2 moles of water. So this relationship is called stoichiometry. Okay. So knowing this ratio, you can calculate how much water you will get if you have 10 moles of reactants. So if 2 moles give you 2 moles, 10 moles will give you 10 moles, right? So this relationship is called stoichiometry. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Unfortunately, we can't finish this topic today. It was just to give you a rough idea, like what is stoichiometry actually is. So if you have a question like what is stoichiometry, I have given you 3 points to explain. Today we have only discussed one short question and a lot of basic things. So the question that I have answered today is what is stoichiometry? So first you need to give the meaning of stoichiometry. Second, you need to give the definition. And third, you need to give an example. Okay, so we will discuss the remaining thing or the rest of the things tomorrow. Do you have any question? No question? Okay, then take care. Allah Hafiz.